It's good to be back, my brothers. Welcome aboard. UFC Paris went down last night. Wow. We saw a stoppage in the main event of the evening where Renato Moicano disposed of Benoit Saint Denis. Could be a controversial stoppage, but you saw the eye was swollen shut, battered, bruised, split open. And the dominance of Renato Moicano in that first round, 10-8 across the board. The crowd willing Benoit Saint Denis on. And you saw he somehow, some way survived that first round. Dominant round by Renato Moicano. And second round unfolded. Some may say that Renato Moicano was playing with his food in the beginning of that second round, trying to regain his composure after almost emptying the tank in that first round when he battered Benoit Saint Denis. And you saw the left hand of Benoit Saint Denis landing. He was outstriking Renato Moicano in that second round. Won the second round convincingly on all three scorecards. And then the doctor stepped in, the ringside physician asked Benoit Saint Denis to answer the bell as far as the number of fingers he was holding up. And you saw he was able to answer the questions correctly when he was able to use both eyes. But then as soon as one eye was covered up, he was up a creek, and Benoit Saint Denis could not answer the questions correctly, ended up getting the fight waved off. And Renato Moicano walks away with the victory, and he's in now possibly the top 5 in the lightweight division. You look at Benoit Saint Denis and the amount of punishment he's taken. Zaleski dos Santos inflicted some serious damage on Benoit Saint Denis. I believe one of those fights was on Fight Island. Then you saw him brutally knocked out by Dustin Poirier, and now a third time here where he's battered and bruised and he goes back to the well. So interesting turn of events we had in that main event of the evening. And you go back up and down this card, we were treated to a bunch of spectacular matchups. Something that jumped off of the page for me was Brian Battle and his fight against Jusei. He performed admirably. You saw the traits of a fighter that you'd like to back, somebody who doesn't give up on themselves, someone who has heart, pace, cardio, accuracy, the ability to take a punch, and a willingness to meet fire with fire and also fight to his strengths. And he did that, came in there with a man on a mission. He was on his way to victory and would not be denied, simply would not be denied. So I was very impressed with Brian Battle's performance yesterday. Very impressive performance. And I am interested to see what opponents he takes on next time out, because man, that post-fight interview, he really laid into the Paris crowd. Let's see. We've got some comments here in the comment section. Grateful dude, you say it was a great night of fights. I agree. And one thing I have to say about the Paris crowd, they come out in full force and they sing and chant in unison. Something that the crowds in the United States of America, we don't necessarily partake in that unless perhaps they're singing Sweet Caroline or another tune. But lots of praise must be poured upon the UFC Paris crowd. Now, let's see. Patrick says, didn't see BSD losing that one. Was immediately hyped to see Money Moicano on the mic when he was declared the victor. I got to say, Hanato Moicano, he must have had that speech in his back pocket ready to go. Spoke from the heart. Um, and what can you say? What can you say? Fabulous fight. I was excited to watch it all unfold from the comfort of my couch. And now I'm looking forward to many bouts in the future. We have, I believe, UFC 307 coming up on the horizon. We've got many, many, many other fights. Let's just take a look up and down this card. Oh, man, how about Faraziem and his knee knockout of Matt Steamroller Frivola almost locked up that submission in the first round, almost had Ziem out of there. And you saw he really emptied the tank in that first round and came out in the second round. Oh man, was you saw a marauder versus a sniper unfold, and that knee, I believe he said the second round, that was when he was going to land the knee, and it ended up happening in the third round. Great fight. Both fighters really went for it. And I hope Matt has a safe flight home. I know that Ray Lago and the crew there really put in work, and they had him all trained up for that one. So Faraziem, excellent show. Another matchup that I wanted to speak about briefly is the Ludovic Klein Roosevelt Roberts fight. It was interesting to see Roosevelt Roberts getting the better of the stand-up, the striking exchanges in that one. You saw Klein going back to the well time and time again, trying to ground Roosevelt Roberts, and Roberts didn't really have an answer for that. So props to Ludovic Klein, who's really come into his own. I know he was a minus 1,000 favorite. So what can you expect in that situation? Didn't look like a minus 1,000 favorite, but he fought to his strengths there. And you've seen he's been working behind the scenes on his wrestling. It's wild, though, that he had to resort to that against Roosevelt Roberts. But interesting fight card. Looking forward to next weekend, and UFC. There are so many matchups out there. I wanted to touch on one important thing, that there are certain fighters who have written checks that their bodies haven't necessarily been able to cash. They put themselves through so much inside of the octagon, and their minds are so strong, and they if they stay conscious, they can win many matchups. But it's difficult to fight back when you're unconscious, and also when you have a doctor stepping in and stopping the fight. So what can you say? So many of these fighters out there put it all on the line every time out, and my heart goes out to anybody who steps inside of that 8-sided octagon, because when it comes down to it, you've got the glory, you've got the pride, you've got everything that we see put on the line when they step inside of that octagon. Beautiful things. So cheers to everybody on this festive evening, on this Sunday night, as we wrap this UFC Paris recap up. And I want to thank you for tuning in today. Remember to go get what's yours and have a fabulous rest of your Sunday. Thank you.